All right. Well, here we go. What I'm going to do tonight is, regardless of everything, I'm just going to read this poetry to you because that's what it's about today. Um, so this is a collection of stuff um, that I've been kind of putting together over the last month. I was reading these live to other folks, and now I have a channel, so I'm going to put it on here too. Um, there's 29 total pieces. I think I'll probably get through on this video. I'll probably get down to maybe 15 or so. I think that makes sense. So and this stuff is just really great. So I'm just gonna try to get into it because that's the point of the spoken word. Whatever guise or space you have to access it in your life, you should you should be experiencing you should be experiencing the power of poetry because it's like compressed wisdom, or it's like they're like cones, but then they're also in incredibly melodic, sound and sense combined experiences. There aren't that many things in the world that are made to be enjoyed in such a singular way. So that's what makes me so high about it. So, I'm just gonna start, and I'll give you a rundown of who's gonna come. I'm doing a little. I'm just gonna jump all over from era to era. I don't really care. This first poem is called "Ars Poetica," and it's by Archibald MacLeish. A poem should be palpable and mute as a globed fruit, dumb as old medallions to the thumb, silent as the sleeve-worn stone of casement ledges where the moss has grown. A poem should be wordless as the flight of birds. A poem should be motionless in time as the moon climbs, leaving as the moon releases, twig by twig, the night entangled trees, leaving as the moon behind the winter leaves, memory by memory the mind. A poem should be motionless in time as the moon climbs. A poem should be equal to, not true. For all the history of grief, an empty doorway and a maple leaf. For love, the leaning grasses and two lights above the sea. A poem should not mean, but be. This next piece is entitled The Ball Poem, and it's by John Berryman. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What what is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him a dime. Another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what everyone must one day know, and most know many days, how to stand up. And gradually, light returns to the street. A whistle blows. The ball is out of sight. Soon part of me will explore the deep and dark floor of the harbor. I am everywhere. I suffer and move. My mind and my heart move with all that move me under the water or whistling. I am not a little boy. Epistemology. The epistemology of loss. Yeah, say that better next time. All right. This next poem is entitled I Carry Your Heart With Me. I Carry It In. It's by Cummings. And just before we start here, a word on Cummings. His his style is jarring to some people, both in the way he presents it in text and also the way it moves, but you move with him. Like Wallace Stevens is very, like the very eloquent uh, idea movement that is um, that catches your heart and mind's eye by surprise. It's very he's very wonderful. They're all very wonderful. I'm picking cool stuff here, but let me shut up and read. I Carry Your Heart With Me. I Carried In by Cummings. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear, and whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for you, beautiful. You are my world, my true. And it is you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. These next ones are a carryover from International Beer Day. They're both anon. The first is Old Irish Tale. Some Guinness was spilt on the barroom floor when the pub was shut for the night. When out of his hole crept a wee brown mouse and stood in the pale moonlight. He lapped up the frothy foam from the floor, then back on his haunches he sat. And all night long you could hear the mouse roar, "Bring on the goddamn cat!" And and the next one is the bonus poem. It's a spoof on Joyce Kimball's Trees. It's called Beer. I think that I shall never hear a poem lovely as a beer, a brew that's best straight from a tap with golden hue and snowy cap. The liquid bread I drink all day until my memory melts away. A beer that's made with summer malt, too little hops, its only fault, upon whose brow the yeast has lain in water clear as falling rain. Poems are made by fools, I fear, but only wort can make a beer. Okay. This next one is entitled, this is a really just spectacular poet, Billy Collins. It's entitled An Introduction to Poetry. Introduction to Poetry. I ask them to take a poem and hold it up to the light like a color slide, or press an ear against its hive. I say, drop a mouse into a poem and watch him probe his way out, or walk inside the poem's room and feel the wall for a light switch. I want them to water ski across the surface of a poem, waving at the author's name on the shore. But all they want to do is tie the poem to a chair with a rope and torture confessions out of it. They begin beating it with a hose to find out what it really means. Sorry, I'm stamping this thing. I'll get better at this, I hope. Clean up my house. All right. This next piece is by I found this. It's from I think 2008. It's by Derek Walcott. It's called "Love After Love." Love after love. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. It's so much. So much. Some of these are like, geez, it's so powerful, man. Oh, I love this one. I tried to memorize it. I pretty much had it. Because it's really nice to be able to spit live poetry like to anywhere in the world. Like if you're anywhere and the spirit of boredom overtakes a space, you could be in a train car. You know, some asshole will tell you to shut the fuck up, but he can shut the fuck up. Um, I mean, don't be like abusive with it. You know, it's better to actually do it like in a courtyard or in an open space. Best to do it at a festival where people are really expecting it. But I mean, if you're on the street corner and you're spitting Shakespeare for real, put a hat down. 'Cause people might give you some money. Uh, but if you don't want to do that, just give it to the air. It's one of the things that I always relished is the knowledge that uh, when you say a poem aloud, you are saying it like effectively to the universe, like it's a song, or it's words scored for the voice in the air, right? And so I always felt like even if I was by myself, like I kind of am now, although there's a camera here, but and it's happened many times in my life. I've done it many times where there's no one in the world or around me, and I will say a poem aloud because they live that way the best. So I love to do it that way. So it's not, I don't have every poem memorized that I want to say tonight, but this one I have more or less. I'm going to try to do it right. It's not easy. Uh, this is a poem, "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night" by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is night. I'm going to start that again. Erase, erase. Do not go gentle into that good night by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words have forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang their sun in flight and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could burn like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Well, the world conspired against that one. I think I just powered that other one off. So I'm just gonna hold it. Oh no, I can't. Oh, I did. Damn it! Technology, stop messing with me. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Where are we? We're getting there. Thank you for your patience if you're still hanging on. All right. This next poem is by one of my favorite poets, American poets. There's actually two in here, a piece of one and this one. This is by Walt Whitman. It's called A Noiseless Patient Spider. A noiseless patient spider. I marked where on a little promontory it stood isolated. Marked how to explore the vacant vast surrounding. It launched forth filament, filament, filament out of itself, ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, O my soul, where you stand, surrounded, detached in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them, till the bridge you will need be formed, till the ductile anchor hold, till the gossamer thread you fling catch somewhere, O my soul. All right. Next one. I think it was a lazy day, maybe. This is Langston Hughes' poem. It's called "So Tired Blues." With the sun in my hand, gonna throw the sun way across the land. 'Cause I'm tired, tired as I can be. I love you, Langston Hughes. He's got some great stuff. This is a wonderful poem, a little bit older, Mary Elizabeth Frye. It's just got this defiance in it, this powerful defiance that I respect. When I found the poem, I was like, "You go, Mary Elizabeth Frye. Tell us how it is." It's called "Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep." Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am a thousand winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there. I did not die. This next one is by the 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 great Emily Dickenson. Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash this little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in eternity it asked a crumb of me. All right. This next little set are some limericks that were supposed to be clean because, and that's not impossible, sir. If you're trying to make a limerick that's fun or any good for anyone, it should have a few fucks in it. But these got no fucks in them, unfortunately. There's only one that's even got a fart in it. But here we go. I think there's like 5 of them or something. Excuse me. All right, then. The lyric packs laughs anatomical into space that is quite economical, but the good ones I've seen so seldom are clean, and the clean ones so seldom are comical. There once was a farmer from Leeds who swallowed a packet of seeds. It soon came to pass he was covered with grass, but had all the tomatoes he needs. A painter who lived in Great Britain interrupted 2 girls with their knitting. He said with a sigh, that park bench, well, I just painted it right where you're sitting. There was a young lady named Cager who, as the result of a wager, consented to fart the complete oboe part of Mozart's quartet in F major. The last one of these. A forgetful old gas man named Dieter, who went poking around his gas heater, touched a leak with his light. He blew out of sight. And as everyone who knows anything about poetry can tell you, he also ruined the meter. Anyway, all right. I think I'm gonna end with this one. I think I went over 15, and so thank you, my one viewer. You're awesome. I've never even had a viewer, so you're the best in the whole world. This is from Lewis Carroll, I believe. It's a poem by Lewis Carroll, and I think I can do it with my eyes closed. 'Twas brillig and the slidey toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves and the mummy rats outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird and shun the Frimius Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came burbling through the tulgey wood, and chortled as he came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, his vorpal blade went snick-a-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he came galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frabjous day! Callooh, Calais! He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slidey toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome rats outgrabe. Thank you, guys. See ya. Bye. Did I do it? End.